welcome in our Monday night art session with me, Honorata, at Picture the Difference. So today we are creating and building a project that is very colorful and has lots of doodles. It's called Give Me a Hand. So here are just some examples of work in progress. It's another example which I filmed for you, work in progress again. The purpose of this project is to have two hands which are outlined by yourself, and one hand is all about what is important to you in your life. That's why you can see some writing and doodles in there. And the second hand is about people or things in your life that are helping you to achieve what you want from your life. You will have a full list of art supplies in the video and instructions showing you how to build the doodles, how to add colors and writing. And I really hope you enjoyed the project. It's quite creative. You can decide yourself how you want to fill this hand with color, pattern, doodles and writing. It's really up to you what kind of patterns you use, what kind of colors. There's no wrong or right way, as you remember from our classes, so just be creative and expressive. So let's get started. And I just quickly wanted to talk about art supplies. You will have a list, like I said before, during the video. But just to make sure you've got everything ready, you need a standard A3 paper. So this is like 2 A4 sizes, so the bigger than just the standard A4. You need some markers or crayons or cards, pencils, anything that gives you the color, and pick up the colors you like personally. You also need just a normal black pen, writing pen, and optional pencil if you want to use pencil. So that's all what you need. Okay, so let's get started here, and I'm going to show you how you start the hands, and then we're going to build up each layer on the hand. So starting with the blank paper, the first thing you need to do is outline your hands, and preferably in two different positions so we can have some space between. You could be doing that with a pencil if you want to do it in pencil and maybe you're not so confident and then you are able to get rid of some of the lines, or you can just do it straight away in a pen. So let's just get started. It's very easy. Just make sure your hand is in the paper in stable position. Go with your pencil or pen and just outline. Here we go, the first hand. And then with your second one, you may want to turn the paper if that's easy for you. Then we are going to do mine this way, slightly different than on the example. Okay, here we go. So it's up to you which one you want to pick up to work on first. The first one you decide to work on, it's going to be about yourself and what is important to you in your life. So like in our example, you could be writing some words in there and then add colors and doodles and shapes, marks and additional elements. Or you could just start with color and then add those writing and shapes, doodles, whatever you fancy. So here I put the question, what is important to you? So that's your first hand. And your second hand is who or what is helping you to achieve that? That's your second hand question. You can change them if you feel you would like to work on something else, but that's the main suggestion. And the session title is helping, give me a hand, or you could say helping hand. So we're looking at something or someone who is present in your life and helping you to achieve the things you are going to express on the first hand. Okay, so with this hand, think about maybe a few words that are things that are important to you in your life. You can use the area of the fingers to write them. You can also use the middle area of the hand, or you could use the space between the fingers. And I know you will be very creative with it, and you will come up with your own ways. So I'm just gonna suggest some things in terms of visual presentation of patterns on hand, but I'm really confident, knowing you and remembering sessions I have done with you so far, that you can really do it in absolutely creative in your own way. I will give you some prompts and suggestions, so maybe they help you if you're still a little bit stuck. So one of the suggestions is to create on your hand some internal lines, and if you struggle to kind of imagine what kind of lines, look at your hand and the lines you have on your hand. You can try to follow the pattern from your own hand. So probably majority of you have this line here. So let's try to kind of work with a similar line on this hand. And now you can see by drawing this line, I created space where I have this big shape here and then rest of the hand. So you could use that for writing or coloring, or you could go a little bit further and divide this area now into more areas. So if I add one line here and here and then one in here, you can see I have more areas now. So I could use each of them for writing if I wanted, or just for application of different color on pattern. So if we go with pattern, I'm going to use two faraway areas of this one that we just created for the same pattern. So this is where I am, and now I will use color. So use whatever you have. I have some colored pencil here, and I'm going to color this first area in blue. And this one I will use green for area. And I have to decide what I'm doing with that. So if I just use this area for writing, so here I just wanted to show you how you build up those areas. So you can see all those two areas that I colored before. Here I started filling this area with the pattern, and then here in the middle of working the words. When you do the writing, remember about the space, negative space between. That can be area that you can fill with pattern color as well. So just to have close up of our example. So here you have area that is separating a word from another pattern. Here you have some doodling with color. Here you have some patterns. Here again you have different areas. Some are with pattern, some with writing, and some are just bold color. So here we have some progression, and I just wanted to show you how the work is building up, and how you can work with the letters and negative space as well. So it's like here when you have text and you start filling that in, you could do some don't know, patterns in here, you could do lines or just fill it with color. When that's all done, don't forget about this space that is between the letters as well. So remember, that's something else, another space you could be working on. So if I just grab this colored pencil and fill, for example, this space with color, and this one, so they're not next to each other, and the space between those two greens, and use another color for it. So that's how you can build up. And also remember about fingernails. So that's something else. If you struggle to draw them, look at your own hand and just copy the shape of your fingernail. And again, you could leave it with bold color, like here, the orange one, but there's nothing stopping you from going a little bit further and adding more to that. So when you build up, also remember there are some areas that you filled with color, like for example this yellow here. You could be going back to it after a while and add another layer, so that gives your hand more dimension and it becomes more interesting. So if, for example, this one, if I decide to just have some doodles in it, that's something else, and I don't have to fill it fully. Again, with the pattern, the same repeated pattern, but different color for the pattern. So here we have circles, but we have green and blue. So that's how you build up your hand. And just to remind you, this is the hand where you put the text and things that are important to you in your life. And then you carry on in exactly the same way with your second hand. But this is about people and things that are helping you to build life with everything that you expressed in your first hand. When that is done, you can create some linkage between the fingers, maybe some lines, or are they holding something together? Maybe there is a string going across, so you can connect those two things, because those people, they're helping you to achieve the life you want. So let's just build up on this hand a little bit, and I'll show you how it progressed once it's got a little bit more. So here are just some close-ups to give you more inspiration. The first hand and this one is still in progress, and you can see I created already some kind of linkage between those two that's not been touched yet.